Oh, there you are. And welcome back to another one. Oh, don't we know how great it is? They asked me one day, one of the people who are watching the videos here, the rants and all, they asked me, Alan, what's with the cup and all? I said, well, first of all, it ain't no cup, it's a mug. It's a stoneware. My father bought it for me in '94 at the Rent Fair up in Minnesota. Kind of felt like home, except not enough weirdos. Or what you call weirdos, which I call family. So, anyways, I got hit up later on about the whole concept of having sex and what to do, what not to do. So I got a few pointers for you, and they're mostly okay. So, one of the things I remember very fondly as a paramedic, well, not very fondly, just burned into my memory no less, is respond to a call for a gentleman who's passed out in a shower. And it strikes me as odd, but we go there anyways, and we get there, and it's him, by himself, and his son. Well, he's in his 50s or so, we'll say, approximately, and he's in the bathroom, and they have him covered up with a robe and a towel and so forth. And his son, he's in his late 20s, 30s, somewhere in there, and they're telling me that his father has a bad heart. Okay, I get that. I can see the amount of pill bottles they have there. Everything from A to Z. It's easier to mark what he's not taking down for cardiac medication than it is to write down what he's actually taking. A big bottle of nitroglycerin, which is, the big tells that he shouldn't be taking, although he shouldn't be doing a lot of things, we'll say. So then we start asking, what's going on? What are you doing? And he says, well, I was in there taking a shower. And I said, well, that isn't the problem. You should take showers, can't you? And he says, well, the shower is kind of hot. The shower is kind of hot. What is it? Okay, so the shower is too hot. He should have known better, but How long were you in there? Oh, 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, red flag. Red flag. What were you doing in there for 20 or 30 minutes or whatever it was? Because he says 15 or 20. He's really meaning 20 or 30. He probably ran the water heater out, sat in the crapper for a bit, and warmed it back up, if I know what I mean. So then I do my little investigating around. So I open up below the sink. And what do you think I found? Oh yes, a lovely collection of them. Big old stack. Well, they weren't that old either, rather recent, and they were a bit risque. Pages were kind of stuck together too a little bit. So then it dawns on me, he's in the shower getting his money. So, lesson there. If you're going to get your money in the shower, make sure the water's warm enough to keep you warm. And if you have someone in there with you, keep them warm too. Always be thinking about the other sex there. They are the fairer sex. We have to protect them just a wee bit, but keep them warm is one of our jobs and duties, as it is. But anyways, I kind of look at him and I'm like, wow, that's good to know. It's a life lesson. But make sure that water's not too hot, because you'll pass out from getting your money, which would be really embarrassing when the paramedics show up. So then I get asked a question about, when are you considered a whore? Well, that applies for both sexes. Frankly, I've been known to be called a man whore in my time. I'm not bothered by it. Some women get called a whore. Well, that's the way it is. You go out, you get caught doing 15 different guys, well, that's your problem. Guy goes out, gets caught doing 15 different women, well, they probably give you a high five. I don't know what's up with that. I think it should be both directions, but then again, what am I to say about it? So, if you don't want to get caught, don't publicize your life. Do it discreetly. Very well. Then I talked about what positions I prefer. Well, or what position I should say. It's not really a position. It's a series of positions, really. It's a book I wrote, but I don't publish it because, frankly, it's not your fucking business. It's a trade secret. There's certain family members who know what it is, have taken hints and lessons, so figure it out for yourself. And also, be giving. And I don't mean like that. I mean be giving. More than one for them. And make sure it happens first. For good God, once you're dead, you're like a flat tire running down a highway. It don't work like that. Especially some of you guys are, one-whip wonders. Jesus Christ. How can you be like that to a poor lass? Just go out there and, oh, I'm so good, Big Daddy, gonna take you for a ride. Well, shit, Big Daddy made one trip around the lap on a track there, and tire went flat. You know, it's not so many how many RPMs you do, it's how quickly you get there. Slow it down, take your time, it's not a race. You know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Make sure you get to the ending. And not just for you, make sure your whole team finishes. Oh, good God. That pisses me off. Oh, he's so good, but he just don't quit. I don't want to know. It ain't none of my business. Let him figure it out. Or leave his ass and come see Al. I'll take care of it. Al knows what he's doing. There is a waiting list. There is a line. Take a number. Currently, number 1 is open. So really, there is no line or list, but it's there. So just so you all know, that's why I comb the beard here. And also for you lads out there, don't be afraid of a little facial hair, because as my third base coach says, you know, my uncle Brad, he's my third base coach. He said to me, Alan, what do you call a man without facial hair? And I says to him, I said, I don't know, Uncle, what? And he says, a woman. That makes sense to me. Even a little stubble from time to time, or low, riding sideburns, you know, a little soul patch, maybe something a little fuzzy on the chin. Mean him if you can't, you know, go a couple of days without shaving, get the peach fuzz growing a little bit, you know. Oh, I'm in the army, my job doesn't require... You know what, there's things called weekends, or not shaving on Fridays. You know, have a little something by Sunday night that your old lady can grab onto and go, oh, I like it, keep doing it, don't stop. Well, not quite that deep, but you know, it has happened a time or two, and it's not my fault, frankly, it's the whiskey. Which is, you know, how, you know, why we have Irishman taking over the world, because there's whiskey. Which is a good thing I can't drink right now, because, glorious, non-conquering. So my final advice to you is, it's not cute to be single and having kids. It really isn't, you know. Unless you got some kind of deal worked out, take it from me. Long time bad with the ex-wife. God love her. I do, because she gave me 2 of the most beautiful little children in the whole world, and me little Lily. I can't forget me little Lily. So 3 of them. 3 little angels, literally. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, little dimples. Oh, you know they're mine. You know they're just cute as can be. And we were married. I made her an honest woman. Well, on paper at least. So, it isn't cute to be 19 or 20 or running around with a baby daddy saying, oh, we're gonna get married. Yeah, great, fine, dandy, do it already. Or, don't. Just simply don't. All the way back to the beginning, just don't. That makes it so much easier. Because then you know what? Then you're not running yourself ragged with a kid. And that isn't easy. So, there's your advice for the sex thing. And there's more advice to come, but that'll give you a good idea. And lastly, wear underwear. Because it's been many, many years ago for this one. I picked a lad up who was running away from his girlfriend's house because her daddy came home and caught him. Well, he forgot to wear underwear. He just tossed on the old basketball shorts and started running. I jumped over a barbed wire fence. And we'll say them are the 7 most awkward stitches I've ever seen placed in my entire life. And believe me, his balls almost fell off a sack. And that ain't good when you're trying to keep a hold of them. So until next time, lads and lasses, God knows I love ya. Cheers.